or when we finished up the notes, we were talking about, how the DNA makes the proteins, okay? And that's part of your genetic code. It's pretty much universal. A lot of our DNA is the same as bacteria, okay? So it's not the more complex of an organism, the more complex your DNA. A lot of our DNA is the same. But the genes are transcribed. First, by that, what I mean is a part of the DNA is a copy of it is made by the messenger RNA, and then it's translated, it's moved out of the nucleus, and then it's put in there. But what's really cool is they've figured out where genes are, and they can, after it's transcribed, they can take it out of an organism and put it in another organism. And you think, wow, what's the big deal? One of the big issues that we've always had a lot, and especially on the reservation, was we have so many people that are diabetic and they need insulin. Insulin's really expensive to make because before they used to have to get it out of human pancreases, or sometimes they get it out of sheep, or, after organisms had passed away, they'd go in there and they'd take their pancreas and extract the insulin. Well, if you're allergic to one of those animals, you got a problem. And the other thing is it's not that readily available. It's hard to get. Well, what they've figured out is they can take the gene to make insulin from human cells and put it into bacteria. And now the bacteria will make the insulin for you. And it's human insulin, so you don't have to worry about reactions. It's a lot cheaper to make. I know one issue we had with my youngest daughter needed human growth hormone, and it was so expensive and really hard to get because it comes from the brain. Again, you have to wait to extract it. But now they can take that human growth hormone gene out of human cells, put it in bacteria. Now bacteria make it. So it's a lot more available. It's a lot cheaper. It's still expensive, but it's a lot cheaper and it helps a lot more people. Okay, here's two examples, and I'm not really sure why you would do it, but they took the firefly gene and put it in a tobacco plant. Or here they put jellyfish gene in a pig. Maybe that was just practice, I don't know. But it's really neat how they can do that. So we can make, it helps a lot. We have, like I said, bacteria making drugs for us that before we couldn't get. So it works out really slick. Okay, so when we talk about transcription, remember it's DNA directed. The DNA opens up. And it makes a copy of some information from the DNA. It's going to be some sort of gene, whatever that gene is. If it's making an enzyme, whatever, it's right there in the DNA. It opens up, and then we start making a copy of it. And again, that's transcription. Okay, there's actually three steps to RNA transcription. You have to start it, initiate it. So that's where that gene's going to open. And again, there's going to be enzymes to help with that. And then it's going to be elongated. You're going to add little nucleotides down the line. And then when you get to an end, we have to stop it because otherwise it'll keep adding nucleotides and then you won't get the right process. So there's 3 stages to transcription: initiation, elongation, and termination. And actually the same thing with translation. There's 3 stages. You got to start it. You got to, make your chain, elongate it, and then you got to stop it. Okay. And here again to show you, and I kind of showed you already, but if this is opening it up, matching, and then making a copy. So here's our newly made RNA, and it's going to be a copy of the DNA. Okay. So enzymes in a eukaryotic nucleus, they modify the RNA. When it's first done, it needs some fixing. It needs a stop and a start, and it'll change a few things on it to make sure it's perfect before it leaves out to the cytoplasm. Okay. During RNA processing, again, both ends of the primary transcripts are altered. Usually put a start and a stop codon. So you can, this is where you start and this is where you end. Those are added, things like that. And certain interior parts, again, they check out to make sure that everything's right. Make sure that the code is right. If one of them gets off, that's going to be a problem. And I'll show you later why that's a problem. So they cut out certain parts, make sure everything is right before they send it out. Okay. So then when we get to translation, okay, now this is where we make the protein. The template to make the protein is the messenger RNA. Okay. And the process is called translation, which we've already talked about. But what happens is the cell translates a messenger RNA into a protein. It has to use a couple different things. First of all, it has to attach to a ribosome because the ribosomes help with it. And then it needs another kind of RNA called transfer RNA. Transfer RNA is a molecule that has the codon. We talked about that. Codon is three of the nucleobases. So the messenger RNA has codons. It's broken down into groups of 3. Those are the codons. Okay, the transfer RNA has the anticodon. It has the matching codon. So again, if my messenger RNA says CCC, the transfer RNA is going to be GGG, and then they're going to match up. And that's where this transfer RNA, let me see if I have a picture of it. Okay, I'll show you a picture of it again. I should probably stop doing this, and that'll probably help. But anyway, transfer RNAs have an amino acid attached to them. Okay, so they'll bring their amino acid, but where does it go? It has to match up with the code. Okay, and so that's your translation, bringing these transfer RNAs, bringing their code to match up with a messenger RNA, and then that determines the sequence of the amino acid. Okay, okay, so here's a codon, here's our messenger RNA. It's attached to a ribosome. All right, here's our transfer RNAs, they're cruising around. Okay, so this one is UGG. So it's going to look for ACC. So this is the codon. This is the anticodon, okay? And this DNA or this transfer RNA has amino acid. You can see they have little amino acids attached. So if it's this code CCG, it always has this amino attached to it. All right, so it's going to come in. So here's UUU, so we have AAA. It brings its amino acid, phenylalanine, boom. And that attaches to all the rest of them. Now the next one that's going to go, this one's going to attach down here, and then these two are going to attach to each other. And so on and so on and so on. So that you can see, you just put the order of the amino acids according to the code. So the codon is in the messenger RNA, it's 3 letters, and the anticodon is in the transfer RNA. Okay, so the transfer RNA is the molecules, they're not identical because they have different anticodons, they have different codes, and they have different amino acids. Okay, what order they put those amino acids determines the protein. Okay, so each one has a specific amino acid. Okay, and they don't carry more than one. They only have one amino acid, one specific amino acid for their code. And they actually call their code the anticodon. So you have the codon and the anticodon. They go together, they're complementary. Again, those pairs, remember, they always pair up the same. That's where it comes from. That's really important, because if they can vary, then you could put any sequence you want and you're not going to get your protein. So here's a better picture. The transfer RNA is actually pretty long. I think it's like 80 base pairs around there. But this is the part that matters. Okay, this is the anticodon. And then there's an amino acid attached up here. And again, this anticodon, AAG, only has the same amino acid attached to it. It doesn't switch. Okay, so it's going to be around, it's going to have its amino acid, it's going to look for messenger RNA. So if it's AAG, it's going to look for UUC. When it sees that, it comes down, attaches to it, and drops off its amino acid. And they just keep doing that. The 3 codes, one, dun, 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 and they keep adding on their amino acids. The order of the amino acid determines what protein you have. Sometimes a protein might have 20 amino acids attached together. And again, it could be the same amino acid sequence is whatever the code is. So we have, thousands of different kinds of proteins, all based on their code. Okay. So the ribosomes are the ones that actually start it. They kind of attach and they allow it to facilitate. They're the ones that start it. And again, I'll show you a video of it. It's really cool how this happens, how they make the proteins. But they couple with the transfer RNA again, bringing their anticodons to match the codons on the messenger RNA, and that's the sequence. Plain and simple. There it goes. Okay, so there's 2 ribosomal, there's a large and a small that help keep that all together. They kind of hold it and anchor it, and then they initiate it. So we actually have 3 kinds of RNA. We have messenger RNA that makes a copy of the DNA. We have ribosomal RNA that it helps with it initiate the start of the production and kind of anchors down the messenger RNA. And then we have transfer RNA that brings the amino acids. Okay. And again, they're very similar. It's kind of crazy that you think that bacteria and eukaryotic ribosomes, because they're such different scale of organisms, but they're very similar. And that's why we can use antibiotics mixed from bacteria. They help. You can see the antibiotics can target certain bacterial ribosomes that are causing problems without harming other ones. It's crazy, but it works. Okay, so for building a peptide, a polypeptide, we're talking about a protein. Okay, again, we have 3 stages, just like we did with transcription. Initiation, we have a start codon. Elongation, adding all the amino acids. and then termination. And again, remember there's 64 different codons. 3 of them are stop codons. So when they get to that point, it's like quit, protein's made. Okay? All 3 stages require factors that aid in the process. So of course there's other things that, keep the process going. And they also need energy. Okay? So, but the stages of transcription and translation are the same. Start, build, stop. Okay, and again, we have a start codon. This is where it's going to start right here. This is where we get our first amino acid up. Then another one will come in, and another one, and another one, and they'll just keep putting all their little amino acids together. And again, the amino acids are joined by what they call a polypeptide bond. And a protein can be 20 amino acids. It can be 2,000 amino acids, maybe even more. It just depends on the protein. But there is energy required to do this. We have GTP. Remember we talked about ATP, and then it can change into ADP. Well, now we got GTP. Okay, and again, you got that high phosphate bond, that energy bond. Works in the same process, and these two are just recycled over and over to each other. Okay, so here's our bonds. Okay, so we got, it comes in, this one, and we've already had a few go on there. See, these are the amino acids. This one's going to come in. These two are going to attach. We're going to get another one coming in. These are going to attach, and eventually you'll get your sequence of your protein right here. The nice thing about these guys now, they'll go off now that they've dropped off their amino acid, and they'll pick up another one. So they'll be ready to go again. But they just keep adding and adding and adding. And the order is these nitrogen bases, whatever that code is. Okay. Once the protein is made, all the amino acids are added, then there's a stop codon. And again, we said there's 3 letters that means, okay, this is it. We've reached the end. Our protein is made. And the site A, they call it, on the ribosome accepts that protein, and then they call it a release factor. I think it's basically they add water. The release factor actually adds water to stop producing that amino acid. Crazy, right? But they have a stop codon again so that they're done, because otherwise they'll just keep adding amino acids and adding. When do we quit? So once you get to the stop codon, they're done. The protein is made. Okay. Now they call it a polypeptide at this part because it's not quite the protein that we think of it. It has to be modified. It has its sequence now, and if you remember, we talked about protein. It has a primary. That's the sequence. That part's done. But now it either has to fold or it has to twist. It might have to join with other ones. It has its protein things to do. And there's 4 levels of protein structures. That has to happen afterwards. Right now, all we did was get the polypeptide form, and now it's got to do its own thing as far as getting ready to actually do its job. Okay, so what happens if we mess with that code? Okay, let's see, a couple letters get left off, or, so if you have a few nucleotides that are either added or subtracted, you're going to have some problems, because remember, the protein is based on the amino acid sequence. If you take out a nucleotide, now you got a different amino acid sequence, and now the protein won't work. Okay, so mutations are changes in the genetic material of the cell or a virus or whatever. Okay, so something happens to the code. It's not right. Okay, there can be what they call point mutations. And a point mutation was that there's a change in just one base pair of a gene. And you think, well, one base pair, I mean, if there's bazillions of them, what's the difference? Think about it. If it's supposed to be AAU for a codon, and that brings an amino acid, you take off the U and you put in a C. Now it's going to be, instead of UU, what did I say, AAU, UUA coming in, now it's going to be UUG. It's going to be a different amino acid. And then all the way down the line, it's going to be wrong. So you're going to get the wrong order of amino acids, you're going to have a problem, okay? A change in a single nucleotide in the DNA template can lead to the production of an abnormal protein. And then you got a problem, okay? We're just about out of time now, so I'm going to quit here, and I think we'll finish up the notes, I hope, on the next part of it, okay? So anyway, that's protein synthesis.